Fellas, being good on the mic, or at least being charismatic or being a trash talker, is kind of a crucial part in becoming a huge star in the UFC. And there's at least one in every UFC weight class. So today we're going to be taking a look at the most entertaining on the mic in every UFC weight class. Now, I was recommended this video to someone in the comments a while ago. I'll tag them in the comments, but please let me know if you agree with these takes, or if not, if you don't. Either way, we're going to go in there with the heavyweight division. And for me, the most entertaining on the mic in the heavyweight division is Derrick Lewis. I wish Derrick Lewis was at more press conferences, man. His one-liners are the best in the UFC. I'm sick of all these press conferences without Derrick Lewis on them because he can't really put a win streak together. He did just win at UFC 291, and that was actually on the main card, but he still didn't make it to the press conference because there was a last-minute switch-up between Wonderboy and Michel Pereira. But still, I think Derrick Lewis is the best on the mic in the heavyweight division. The heavyweight division itself doesn't have that much trash talkers. John Jones, I wouldn't class him as a trash talker unless he's got like a genuine beef with someone. Everyone else in the heavyweight division come across as either nice or just bland, so I'm going to go Derrick Lewis. He's one of the most funniest fighters in the UFC, never mind the heavyweight division. His post-fight interviews, they're goated. Whenever he's there with Joe Rogan, taking his pants off, dancing around, whatever he's saying, his balls are hot, whatever it may be, he has the most goated post-fight interviews in the UFC. He needs to be on more press conferences, and even on the media day. Media days for me are kind of just a bit boring. It's just fighters saying, yeah, I'm excited to go out there Saturday night and destroy this bum. Now, but Derrick Lewis, he makes every media day way better. He's not just a generic fighter, and the thing is with Derrick Lewis, he's on media days quite a lot because he's either on a UFC pay-per-view or he's on a fight night, so we get to see Derrick Lewis on media days pretty often. But Derrick Lewis, whenever he's put in front of a microphone and an audience, he's the best, and in my opinion, he's the best on the mic in the heavyweight division. He's the funniest in the heavyweight division. I wish Derrick Lewis is at more press conferences. He's just signed, I think it was an 8-fight deal to the UFC, so I don't think he's going anywhere, which is good because we get to see Derrick Lewis, one of the biggest stars. We all want to see him win. I know he just come off a first round knockout, but still, Derrick Lewis for me, funniest on the mic in the heavyweight division, without a doubt. Then we move on to the light heavyweight division. Now for me, the light heavyweight division is very, very bland when it comes to trash talk. There's not much trash talkers. I can't really think of any, so I've had to go with Jamal Hill. Now, he's not extremely good. He's not like one of the best on the mic in the UFC, but compared to the rest of the light heavyweights, I'm going to have to give it to Jamal Hill. He's the only kind of top fighter who can speak English fluently. I guess Jan Blachowicz can speak English, but he's not good on the mic. Ankalaev, I don't think I've ever heard him say a thing in his life. Yura Prohaska, he's entertaining, but not on the mic. Alex Pereira doesn't speak, so I'm going to have to go with Jamal Hill. He's willing to talk. That's the thing. You put a mic in front of him, he will talk, and I'm sure one day, if he ever gets... The thing is, he's actually trash talked before as well, has Jamal Hill. Unlike most of the light heavyweights, they've never really trash talked in their life, whereas Jamal Hill is one of them. Because him and Paul Craig, when the lead up to their fight, they had a bit of an altercation, so he's willing to trash talk. I'm not sure he's going to trash talk again because, like I said, there's not much people that you can really beef with in the light heavyweight division. I mean, besides like Ion Q Talaba, or I don't know, I don't even know. Like everyone in the light heavyweight division is nice. I don't see how you can beef anyone. So I'm going to go Jamal Hill. I think he's the best on the mic. He's pretty funny as well. He's a pretty funny guy. His YouTube channel's alright, and he's just a funny guy, but I'm going to have to say, it's Jamal Hill in the light heavyweight division because nobody else speaks. Nobody else trash talks. It's kind of been a bit bland on the trash talk side of things when we haven't had John Jones anymore. I wish we had John Jones and DC at light heavyweight again. But still, I'm going to go Jamal Hill. Knows what to say, knows how to speak, pretty funny guy. He's trash talked before, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last time he does it because he's a top fighter. He just got his belt stripped away from him, so he's going to be fighting for a belt within at least 2 fights, I reckon. But Jamal Hill, for me, is the best on the mic in the light heavyweight division. Then we've got the middleweight division. It's got to be Sean Strickland. It's got to be Sean Strickland. The same thing. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing, you guys. The thing about transgender women, you guys. Sean Strickland, for me, best on the mic. He absolutely cooked Israel Adesanya at that press conference. I think that's the reason everyone wanted to see Sean Strickland versus Adesanya. It wasn't necessarily for the fight, it was for the press conference. Sean Strickland has been in 2 press conferences in his career so far. Well, 2 memorable ones against Alex Pereira and Adesanya. And he made those press conferences what they were. He kind of makes every press conference. Not even that. When he's doing interviews on YouTube, whether it's with Nina Drama, even the one with the Nelk Boys was hilarious, that he just has no filter. Media days, press conferences, even the vlog series, wherever it is, online, Sean Strickland, whenever you're in Sean Strickland's presence, he can just trash talk, and he's just so funny. He's one of the funniest fighters in the UFC. Definitely the funniest in the middleweight division. Adesanya's coming out with all these one-liners, these cringy one-liners, and for me, it just doesn't do it. Besides that, there's not much trash talkers. I mean, Robert Whittaker, Dricus du Plessis, Jared Cannonier, Marvin Vettori, we're really calling them good trash talkers. I don't know. Marvin Vettori's not really great on the mic. Paulo Costa's funny, but he's not really good on the mic. So I'm going to go Sean Strickland. He's the funniest middleweight, and he's the best at every press conference. Whenever you've got a press conference with Sean Strickland, I actually think the UFC, whenever Strickland's headlining a pay-per-view, instead of charging the audience for the pay-per-view, they should just charge him for the press conference. Extend the time of the press conference and just charge the audience, because for me, Sean Strickland's the funniest on the mic in the middleweight division. And even after he loses to Adesanya, I'm sure it's not going to be the end of it. It doesn't matter who he's against. That the build up to the Abbas Magomedov fight, even the fight night main event against Abbas Magomedov, the things he was coming out with, even after the fight, where he was still insulting Abbas Magomedov, he's got no filter whatsoever. But that's why for me he's the best on the mic in the middleweight division. So for middleweight, I'm going to go Sean Strickland. Welterweight, it's got to be Colby Covington. The problem with Colby is he's very squeaky, isn't he? He's very squeaky. He's got the voice of a flyweight, but for me, Colby Covington's got to be the best trash talker in the welterweight division. He has to be. Trash talking saved his career. He made it clear that if he didn't, what was it, the Damian Maia fight? Apparently before that, the UFC were going to cut him because he was just too boring. And then he ended up doing that iconic post-fight press conference against Brazil that kind of made him who he is. And ever since then, he's trash-talked everyone. I can't name a single fighter who I don't think he's trash-talked. He's even gone for Wonderboy Thompson. Everybody in his division has been flamed. Edward Scissorhand, CEO of EPR, Street Judas. The list goes on. He's got nicknames for everybody. And he makes the press conference. Him versus Masvidal. It was a great press conference. Him versus Masvidal was one of the best press conferences I've seen. Some people were disappointed because they thought it was childish, but it was literally, what did you expect between Colby Covington and Masvidal? Even against Kamaru Usman when he's cooking Usman, and I'm sure when he fights Leon Edwards, he's going to completely go off on Leon Edwards, and he's going to school him, because Leon Edwards he just can't talk on the mic. Leon Edwards is not going to be able to trash talk back, so I kind of feel bad for him. But Colby, 100% the best on the mic. He schools everyone at press conferences, even going for people like Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. He's literally the human embodiment of a trash talker. He's like a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 lobby as a person. And he's actually a pretty decent fighter as well. Going to be fighting for the belt soon. Trash talking saved his career. So for me, Colby Covington's the best at welterweight. I'm not going to go for Kamaru Usman. He's just too cringy. There's not really much of a trash talk. I mean, we've got Ian Gary. I guess he's good on the mic, but I don't know, he just doesn't have the same thing that Colby Covington has. Like, I can't think of a single fighter that would go against Colby Covington in a press conference and come out, like, kind of schooling him in the press conference. So I'm going to go Colby for welterweight. Lightweight, it's got to be Conor McGregor. It has to be Conor McGregor. He's the best on the mic. Some argue he's the best on the mic in the history of the UFC. Personally, I don't disagree with that. Are we missing out on the greatest of all time, Chael Sonnen here? But still, lightweight, it's got to be Conor McGregor. If you're going to go with anyone besides McGregor at lightweight, I mean, who can you go for? There's not really much. I mean, Dustin Poirier, I don't know. There's not much trash talkers, but McGregor, 100%. Yeah, he's one of the best trash talkers in the UFC. His featherweight run, the fact that he got into Aldo's head so badly and managed to knock him out in 13 seconds. He gets into everyone's head. Even the first fight against Poirier, he got in P-Head Poirier's head. The only fights that he hasn't really trash talked recently are the rematch with Dustin Poirier and the Donald Cerrone fight, but he was quick to trash talk again in the trilogy with Poirier. And he's still got it a little bit. Listen, I'm not going to lie, McGregor hasn't got the same trash talk he had back in 2015, 2016, but he can still talk on the mic. Let's be honest, he can still, out of all the other lightweights, you know that if you're going to get McGregor at a press conference, he's going to school him on the mic. Even the Mayweather back in 2017, even the Mayweather press conference, the one that was in the ring and then the one in front of a massive crowd. I mean, they were both in front of a crowd, but you know what I mean. Even the Mayweather, he absolutely schooled Mayweather. He made Mayweather insecure. McGregor, for me, he's got to be the best on the mic. He's got so many one-liners. I don't even need to go over them. He's like Derek Lewis. He's got so many one-liners. So for lightweight, it's got to be Conor McGregor. If you go with anyone else, I mean, I don't see how they can top McGregor at lightweight. But for lightweight, I'm going McGregor. Featherweight, I'm going to go Ilia Topuria. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree, but who actually trash talks in the featherweight division? Volkanovski doesn't. Holloway doesn't. Arnold Allen doesn't. Yair Rodriguez doesn't. No one really trash talks in the featherweight division. Ilia Topuria, he's the only fighter who kind of trash talks every kind of fight, usually every fight. Maybe not every fight, but he's willing to trash talk. He's willing to build a fight. That's the thing with Ilia Topuria. He's willing to build a fight with someone. He's not one of these fighters that are just going to say, wait until Saturday night. He's willing to trash talk. Even though English isn't his first language, he's still willing to trash talk. And I reckon he's going to trash talk Volk. I think him versus Volk, I think it's targeted for December or maybe early next year. Whenever it is, I think him versus Volk, he's going to be the first kind of opponent to really trash talk Volkanovski. Some people have kind of thrown insults at Volkanovski, but I don't think anyone's going to trash talk him the way that Ilia Topuria will. They already had a face-off and they were yapping there, but Ilia Topuria, I just think he's going to trash talk Volk, and he schooled Paddy Pimblett. Are we going to talk about Paddy Pimblett? In that press conference, Ilia Topuria doesn't even speak like proper fluent English, and I know I said this about the light heavyweight division, how no one speaks English, but for me, Ilia Topuria, he schooled Paddy in his own language. Paddy Pimblett is English. Listen, people think Paddy Pimblett's a good trash talker. We saw what pay-per-view was that? Was it UFC 282? I think it was UFC 282 when they were both in a press conference. Paddy Pimblett was so cringy, calling him a sausage. Like, we've gone from McGregor, Chael Sonnen to Paddy Pimblett calling people a sausage. He schooled Paddy Pimblett in his own language. I think he's going to be willing to trash talk in the future. And for me, I think he's the best trash talker at featherweight division because no one else really is good on the mic in the featherweight division. So for featherweight, I'm going to go Ilia Topuria. Bantamweight, you've got to go Dominic Cruz. I mean, there's a few at bantamweight. There's Listen, I don't want to hear anyone say Sean O'Malley, though. I'm sick of people saying that Sean O'Malley can trash talk. Sean O'Malley cannot trash talk. Don't get me wrong. He's an exciting fighter. He's a huge star. But he can't trash talk. His voice, he hasn't got the voice for trash talking. He got beaten by Aljamain Sterling at the press conference. I know you can't really beat someone at a press conference, but he lost the press conference to Aljamain Sterling. He can't trash talk. Henry Cejudo's just cringy. For me, at bantamweight, it's got to be Dominic Cruz. No one's really been able to outspeak him. He out trash talked Cody Garbrandt. He's out trash talked every opponent that he's ever had. No one can outspeak Dominic Cruz. Even on, I know this isn't really serious, but even in the octagon, not in the octagon, in the commentary team with Michael Bisping, he frustrates Bisping so much. He speaks very elegantly as well. The thing about Dominic Cruz is he's not one of these trash talkers like Colby Covington who just yells. He can speak very calmly. He's a very calm trash talker, but that's why people get into his head. He angers everyone. He gets everybody irritated. Listen, if I had to fight Dominic Cruz and he was just calmly trash talking me, I don't know, he's very witty as well as Dominic Cruz. He's very witty, very quick-witted, knows what to say at the right time. The whole Michael Bisping eye thing, I know I keep bringing up Bisping, but the whole Michael Bisping eye thing was hilarious, where he started roasting Bisping for having one eye, and Bisping was getting a bit angry. But Dominic Cruz, for me, best trash talker at bantamweight. And finally, for flyweight, again, there's not really any trash talkers at flyweight, but just because of the UFC 293 press conference, I'm going to go Manel Kape. The UFC 293 press conference, this guy has no chill. He stood up, surrounded by Tai Tuivasa, Israel Adesanya, and these guys are weight classes above him. These guys are like 5, 6, 7 weight classes above him, and he's still willing to trash talk. English is his third language, and he still trash talks everyone. Kai Kara France was getting heat, Adesanya was getting heat. Adesanya's coach Eugene Bareman was getting heat. Everyone was getting heat by this guy, and I think we're only going to see his mic skills improve. He's got a little bit of beef with Mohammed Makayev on Twitter, and I'm sure if they ever come across each other in a fight, I think they're going to trash talk so much. But Manel Kape, I don't think this definitely won't be the last time he trash talks someone. But so far, I'm pretty impressed how he schooled everyone at the press conference, and he's a flyweight. He's not even the main event or the co-main event. English is his third language. You've got to give it to him. Who else at flyweight trash talks? So we're going with Davis and Figueiredo. So for me, it's got to be Manel Kape. But that is my list of the best trash talkers in every UFC weight class. Please let me know if you agree. Thanks for watching.